Good morning. It's still pretty early, but I wasn't expecting a blanket of mist this morning at all. Slept pretty well last night. It was freezing cold to start with when I got into the tent. I was using my sleeping bag as a duvet, which I've kind of got into the habit of doing, and I was just absolutely freezing cold. As soon as I zipped it up, all the way up, got the hood on and pulled the draw cord around me, I was so toasty warm. It was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, slept pretty well. So I've just been woken up about 5 minutes ago by a grouse doing its thing. They've got real strange calls if you've heard them before. I can't really liken it to anything. But I'm going to get some food going and slowly get things sorted out. Good morning again. The sunlight's on the way out now, and it looks pretty impressive. What I was saying yesterday about being kind of moody and misty and atmospheric, it's one of those mornings. It's actually beautiful. It's about 6:30 and I've just come back onto trail from where I was camped last night, and this is the view that's greeting me. It's probably not going to look anywhere near as impressive on the camera, but it just looks beautiful when you're here in person. So this is National Trust land, as you can see, Scarthwood Moor. I can't remember the next place I'm heading towards now. Basically, it's the end of today is probably going to be somewhere near the coast, near Saltburn-by-the-Sea, fingers crossed. We'll see how we get on. I'm starting a lot earlier than I did yesterday. And last night, I purposely stopped walking about 2 hours earlier than I normally do. The last time I did this trail, about 2 years ago, I actually did it in 3 days. That's 110 miles. Which is just stupid, basically. I just overdid it every day, and at the end of the 3 days, well, not even the end of the 3 days, the end of the second day, I'd damaged the tendons in my left knee, and I'd walked the whole of the third day on that, and basically for 2 weeks after, I couldn't bend my left leg. So yeah, I was out of action for a while, so just purposely trying to take it a bit easier and kind of chill out and enjoy things a bit more rather than going at it like a bull in a china shop. So as you can maybe see, some of the mist is starting to clear off. This little viewpoint here is actually, when I did the trail the first time, that is where I camped, just down there. And I thought I was quite well hidden and nicely tucked away. But I didn't realise that just down this little hill here, there's like a car park and a road, and there was people coming up until like 10, half 10 at night, and they were like, oh, it's a nice view, oh, there's a tent down there. And then even in the morning, I think it was maybe about 5:30, because this part of the trail is shared with a Lyke walk, which is like a 40-mile challenge. You're supposed to do it, the 40-mile trail, in a day. A lot of people start it early, and they're up here quite early. And there were some guys at like 5:30, I'm like, oh, there's a tent down there. So no, you're not hidden down there, you're right in the thick of it. But yeah, it's not been bad this morning. It's kind of monotonous when it's really misty and you can't see a great deal. You just got to keep trucking on through, basically. There is another viewpoint right in the middle of all that mist over there, which I was hoping would have cleared out, but it's not looking like it. So it's unfortunate. It was socked in last time I came as well. But anyway, looks like it is going to get out to be a nice day. So we shall carry on walking. So I thought I'd just mention this before I head off up the hill. This is actually where I camped the second time I did the trail, my first night, just down this little track, and I just wandered into the forest there and found a flat spot in there. Now, after this point, you start climbing up and you're right up onto the moor top again, and it's extremely exposed, and it's a really long section as well. So it would be a good idea camp somewhere at the foot of it. I am just on the edge of the forest in the distance there. That is the Lordstone's campsite, which all 3 times I've passed through it has been closed up. I don't even know if they're trading anymore. I've never seen anyone camp there. I mean, it's Easter holidays at the moment for the school kids. I would have thought there would have been somebody around, but no, deserted. So yeah, I mean, if you get here on your first day, you've done extremely well. I think it's maybe a little over the 30-mile mark getting to this point. So unfortunately, it looks like the mist has come in again. So yet again, the viewpoint at the top of this hill is going to be non-existent. But we've got to go up anyway. Well, I've been stopped in a very nice place for a little bit of food. I've been trying to remember what these stones are called all morning. I'm pretty sure it's the Wain stones, but I might be wrong. Something else, it doesn't seem right. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it's just a big collection of these massive boulders on top of the moor. It's a really popular spot for hikers, has been for years, as you can see by all the graffiti on here. There's even some, I noticed, from 18 something over there, and probably earlier. So yeah, I'm really lucky actually, because the last 2 times I've done this hike, this has been completely fogged in and you've not been able to see any of these awesome views. It is still a little bit hazy today. What should we do? Should we jump this gap, do we think? Yeah. Yeah, It's still a little bit hazy, but you can see for miles still. It's pretty impressive. The wind, one thing I will say, if you're thinking about doing the hike, one thing that you will get a lot of benefit from is a windproof top. Just all morning so far, the wind has just been constant. It's not like really bad, but it's just biting. It's cold, and also when you get onto the coastal sections as well, just because it's so exposed on the cliff tops, a windproof top is a really valuable piece of kit to have with you. So I am gonna keep on moving. I've had my piece of flapjack that I found in my bag. Quick drink, talk to a couple of hikers, and the next section. So we head off in that direction there. Over the moor you drop down to a road, and then you go up again. There's been a lot of up this morning actually. You're up again onto the moor top again, and then you've got a really long section of quite monotonous moor road walking. You'll see what I mean when we get up there. I'll show you what it's like. But it's one of the sections on the trail that just seems to drag and drag and drag for me. So sooner I start that, sooner the better. So this is what I mean about kind of mind numbing and just one foot after another. It's just like this for miles and miles, and when you look around it's beautiful today on a day like this, but if you can imagine if it's real misty and murky, it can be a quite depressing walk. A trig point up there and another old carved stone, one of many. Whew. It's definitely been a tough morning. It's been a lot more ups than I remember. Probably starting to show my age. But no, it's now the sun's out and all the mist cleared off. It's really nice. It's really nice, definitely.
Well, this is Kildale, and there's not a great deal to it at all. I don't think there's a shop. I did read that at one point there was a cafe, but I don't think it's functioning anymore. It's only a little collection of houses, maybe like 20 houses or so. So yeah, not a great deal here. There is, however, when you turn left down here to follow the trail, there's access to the river or stream, however big it is, and you can, as long as you've got your filter, you can fill up with some water there. It's always handy, which is exactly what I'll be doing. It looks like they've put a sign up there recently, because it was quite easy to miss. It points you down this road, but then it didn't point you down this one, and I think a lot of people carried on walking when they shouldn't have done. So on our way to the Captain Cook Monument now, which anyone who's done this trail or anyone who's been to the Captain Cook Monument knows that it is on the top of a hill, and getting there by the Cleveland Way is very steep and very painful. As you can probably tell by my voice, I am definitely feeling it already today. I think it's maybe about 1:30, 1:45, something like that. So yeah, definitely more out of shape than I realised I was. Well, I'm probably about halfway up to Captain Cook Monument. The first half of the ascent to it is just via a tarmac road, and it's just brutal. It's really steep. The gradient is crazy. It didn't last as long as I remembered it to be honest with you, so it wasn't over painful. And then the rest of the way up is just through this like forest tracks and forest paths. It's quite nice. So probably have a little break. It's just a bit frustrating that the only place to pick up water is right at the bottom of the climb as usual. So you gotta lug all your water back up the hill again. But at least I've got some water. So there we go, Captain Cook Monument, and added bonus, if you can see the very oddly shaped lump in the distance there, that's Rosebery Topping. That's quite a famous landmark around here, and that is the next destination on the Cleveland Way. If you wanted to, you could bypass it, because it's kind of a go off the trail, go up to it, climb up to the top and backtrack on yourself. I'm still undecided what I'm going to do. I've been up once before. The only thing that's playing on my mind is time-wise. I think I'm going to be pushed to find a camp spot tonight around the time that I reach the coast. Obviously it's all built up. There's one town you get to first I can't remember the name of, and then it kind of amalgamates into Saltburn-by-the-Sea. So I'm just bearing that in mind. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. So I'll just keep filming and show you the view on the other side, because it's a little bit hazy again, but it's another one of these impressive views for sure. Everything's laid out in front of you. I can't believe there's no one else up here. That's crazy. There's usually loads of people up here. But yeah, there you go. What a view. Miles and miles and miles. Very nice. So it looks like I'm going up. I thought it was a little bit of a shame to come this close to it and not show you guys the top. Don't know if you can make out the zigzaggy trail going up kind of right in the centre of the picture, I believe, up the side. It looks really nasty, but I seem to remember last time I did it, I thought it wasn't as bad as it looked. So let's see if that's still the case, shall we? I doubt it. So yeah, it isn't actually as bad as it looks, to be honest with you. But this guy's got some serious cojones. If you can see the flags fluttering down there. That guy's in a wheelchair. That's just unbelievable. He's just been on the phone to somebody saying that he's going to go a bit further up tonight. I mean, he had some YouTube stuff plastered on his wheelchair as well, so he's obviously doing it for a challenge or a cause. But seriously, it's something I never thought I'd see. That's insane. Good on the guy. This is quite cool. It's one of the stones laid in the path on this section of trail, but it's a memorial stone for a school that was demolished, and the stone was used to construct the path. The other half, I believe, is further on down the trail somewhere. It's in this section somewhere. It's not too far ahead, but it's quite funny. So the next place I'm heading for is the rocky outcrop right on the corner there. That's like a little viewpoint, and then it takes you into an area called Gisborough Woods, and I'm just going to see how I feel and what time it is when I get there, because that's probably going to be about the last place I'm going to be able to camp without pushing on past Saltburn-by-the-Sea, which I think is possibly going to be a bit far for me now tonight. But like I say, I'll reevaluate once I get up there and see what's happening. that is the end of a very long day. As you can see, I've just got the tent set up. I'm in Gisborough Woods and trying to find one, water, and two, somewhere flat to camp in the forest is almost impossible. The forest, when you walk into it, it's kind of all ridged, almost like medieval ridge and furrow ploughing, and there's just nowhere, or there hasn't been many places at all where you could put the tent. What I did was I followed like a BMX or a motorbike track into the forest, and then kind of split off from that. And I've actually come across, you might be able to make out someone's been camping here before. There's remains of a fire there and some burned logs and some firewood and stuff. So people use this spot. With it being a Tuesday night, fingers crossed I won't get disturbed by anyone. But I had a quick check on the maps, and the next town is Skelton in Cleveland. That was the one I couldn't remember the name of. And according to the maps, it was still about a 2 hours walk tonight. That would have meant getting there at the earliest 7 p.m. And then it was probably another hour from there to get to Saltburn-by-the-Sea and out of Saltburn-by-the-Sea, and then finding somewhere to camp. It was too much. There was no way I could do it, so I have camped in the forest tonight. I'm also a little bit worried about the wind, actually, because the wind was picking up a bit before I came in here, so at least I'm nice and sheltered in here. And like I say, I've got the tent set up. It's still sopping wet through from this morning, so I'm going to try and get it dried out, leave it as long as possible before I start putting my stuff in there. Fingers crossed it'll be dried out in the morning. So I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to make some food. I didn't actually have any food last night. I just had a cup of coffee, so I'm definitely going to have some food tonight, probably a coffee as well, and probably check some emails. So that is it for me for today, and hopefully, all being well, I shall catch you in the morning.